Yes, sir.
The first question, and I hope it's not a difficult one, but as a Hardhat professional in academia, what do you do in your work so that you use your work to promote social justice?
Right. Okay. Thanks for the question. So I think this is very interesting that it has a lot of broad definitions. So when the invitation came up, I took some time just to also look through a couple of definitions to see the ones that would resonate, well within the context of the work that we do as well as the context of the country. I think the United Nations report defines social justice as it's understood to be, it may be broadly understood as the fair and compassionate distribution of the fruits of economic growth. It goes on to state that social justice is not possible without the strong and coherent redistributive policies conceived and implemented by public agencies. And I think when one centers around that, you pick up that there should be definitely a coherent interaction between the knowledgeable individuals, in other words, what we do in academia, as well as the public agencies, government, politicians that would be able to drive activities that speak to social justice. And linking that to what we do. I mean, in an academic setting, I'm a lecturer. I'm working a lot with students. You're imparting knowledge. You're ensuring that they are equipped enough to walk into industry and be able to fend for themselves and make a difference within the context of the country. Whilst being able to do that, I think the activities that we need to participate in is to be able to ensure that as we are doing that, we are providing that knowledge and continuously engaging with the powers that be, advising accordingly, and so forth.
Educating the future professionals, one would say you're technically contributing to social justice. What more do you contribute as a built environment professional in the academic industry to promote social justice?
Well, thank you for this question. So I think let me start by clarifying once more that I'm in a very lucky position to be teaching in a civil engineering space. And my professorial chair is about transportation. And in transportation, obviously, if you think about it, we are busy with distributing people and freight, right? So when Sula tells us that social justice is all about the distributive question of who gains and who loses, then at least in the nature of the field of transport, that's actually a question we are asking ourselves on a daily basis. Yet, that is perhaps a little bit too much of a blue sky story, because if you look at what we teach in class, it's still a lot to do with the hard infrastructure. So you of course know that concrete and steel, but also in electrical engineering, you look at fiber optics. Those are all very important pieces to infrastructure to build roads, bridges, and the internet, which are essential building blocks to our economies. So in that sense, we are all contributing to I would say, trying to benefit society and making sure that we are thriving or pushing our development agenda. Yet, we need to be sure, and maybe we forget to teach our students once in a while, that infrastructure, any built environment infrastructure, is a means to an end. And I try to tell my students all the time, it is, so we shouldn't forget that we build it to serve someone. And this is where the problem comes in. Who is that someone? And I'm guilty, and many people are guilty, many academics before me are guilty as well, that when we teach those methods and theories around transportation, in my case, we actually focus a lot on cars, we focus a lot of moving objects, and we forget the people. And actually, just think about it. If you haven't had a course on transport, I'm pretty sure that the focus is always on congestion. And congestion is something we hate and we try to solve. But actually, if you think about it, congestion is probably good because it means that we are using our infrastructure to what it's built for. But of course, too much congestion is not good either. But what we tend to forget is those people who are not in the queue, because they cannot be in the queue, because they don't have the means to be in the queue. Yeah, and so what I'm trying to do with lots of colleagues and inspired by lots of colleagues is to make sure that even though we teach that hardcore engineering, we say infrastructure is necessary, but it's not necessarily sufficient to development. And it takes much more. It takes courage to say, okay, let's leave that queue for a while, let's leave the congestion for a while, and let's go back to trying to see who are we serving with our infrastructure. And that brings me to your fantastic question, is about, so what can we do to do social justice or contribute to social justice? It's by making sure that we always put people first when planning, designing and maintaining our infrastructure. And the interesting thing is that if you do that, if you focus on people, you will actually discover that you focus on the environment and other things as well, because it's all integrated. And so that is my 2 cents worth in this discussion.